All right, this video should help you when you are graphing a line for an equation that is in slope-intercept form. So I thought I would start by reminding you what in the heck is slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form is the form y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Sometimes slope-intercept form is y equals b plus mx. So you can switch the order of those two, but whatever's with the x is the slope. So that's what we're going to make sure we focus on. And then the number that's by itself, that doesn't have a variable, your constant, that is your y-intercept, which at the beginning of the year we were calling that our start value at 0. That's the point on the y-axis. And then a reminder about slope. Slope is rise over run. So if your slope is a whole number, you want to turn it into a fraction. And the top number you go up or down, up if it's positive, down if it's negative. And the bottom number of the fraction, you're going to go left or right. You're going to go to the right if it's positive, and you're going to go to the left if it's negative. So the examples that I have below are already set up in slope-intercept form. So this one gives us the equation y equals 5 minus 1/3 x. So the first thing we want to do is decide which one is the slope and which one is the y-intercept. So slope is the number with x. So 5 does not have an x, it's a plain number. But negative 1/3 does have an x. So that is my slope. And lucky for me, it's already in a fraction. So the slope is negative 1/3. So here's a little trick. And notice that this minus sign, I called it a negative because it works in the same way. So the fraction 1/3 is negative. I usually put the negative with the top number, and then I leave the bottom number positive. One thing's for sure, the negative can't go on the top and on the bottom, because a negative divided by a negative would make it a positive. So the negative needs to go either on top or on the bottom. I usually put it on top. So that means for my slope, I'm going to go down 1, because it's a negative 1. And I'm going to go to the right 3, because it's a positive 3. So that's my slope. Now I need to know where to start. And I start with the plain number, which in this case is 5. So I'm going to go to my graph, and the y-intercept starts on the y-axis. So I need to find the point on the y-axis where 5 is. So I'm going to go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it's a positive 5. Always on the y-axis, that's why it's called the y-intercept. So that's my start value at 0. And then I'm just going to count my slope. I'm going to go down 1 to the right 3. Make a point. Down 1 to the right 3. Make another point. Down 1 to the right 3. Make another point. Down 1 to the right 3. Make another point. And I could keep going. If I wanted to get this back part of my graph, then I would need to flip my fraction and make it 1 over negative 3. Still the same thing, it's negative 1/3, but this helps me go backwards. I'm going to go now up 1 and to the left 3, and it's going to help me follow my pattern of these dots. So now I'm going to go up 1 and to the left 3. Up 1 and to the left 3. And now I have my line. If it's continuous, I could choose to connect it. If it's discrete, I could just leave it as those dots. I'm going to choose to connect. And that is the graph that matches this slope-intercept equation. All right, let's try another. This one, let's try again. Which one is the slope? Which one is the y-intercept? So the number with x is always the slope. So 5 has an x, it's a positive 5. So I need to turn that 5 into a fraction. And you can always turn a whole number into a fraction by putting it over 1 or dividing it by 1. So 5 is my rise. I'm going to go up 5 because it's positive, and I'm going to go to the right 1 because it's positive. So up and to the right. And since -3 is all by itself, that's my constant, that's my y-intercept. And the y-intercept is always on the y-axis. So I need to find where -3 on the y-axis. So I'm starting at the origin, I'm going to go down 3. 1, 2, 3. This is my y-intercept. All right, so I've got my y-intercept completed, and I just need to do my slope, which was rise 5, run 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to the right 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to the right 1. And then to get the lower half of the graph, I'm gonna flip it. -5 divided by -1 is still +5, but it helps me go down and to the left to get the other part of my graph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to the left 1. And again, you can choose if it's discrete, you could just leave the points like that, no problem. If it's continuous, I'm going to connect those with a line. And that, my friends, is graphing in slope-intercept form.